long-haired, short-legged, double-humped Bactrian camels, named for Bactria, province of ancient Persia, enter Peking, former capital of China, each day at dawn. They are rarely ridden, being more useful as beasts of burden. Of all the cities of this romantic old world, none holds for me the abiding charm that is Peking's. Despite the fact that the nationalist government abandoned it as the national capital in June 1928 and renamed it, vainly I hope, Peking, there still isn't another city like it this side of the moon. There couldn't be. Elaborate shop facades like this may front upon narrow streets, where the dust is laid by coolies with a tub of water and a ladle at the end of a pole, primitive and picturesque. In the native bazaar of the outer or Chinese city, we may happen upon an auction of clothing, or winter is fast approaching and Peking is in proximity to ice-bound Siberia. In this topsy-turvy land, the women wear the trousers and the men long skirts of dull gray or blue denim. The streets in this quarter throng with bustling groups of both sexes, mingled among whom are innumerable children, curious and for the most part none too tidy. Few indeed are idlers, however. This young fellow is a hunter during the morning and a manufacturer during the afternoon. Half of each day he scours the streets for castaway cigarette stubs, and during the other half he converts the tobacco therein into brand new cigarettes at 5 Chinese cents a pack. Here comes another with more blends to the square inch than in all the Virginia and Turkish varieties combined. Before him is a hybrid assortment of boxes, while at his left is his fresh tobacco stock, picked up long and short just off the curb. Women do their smoking and their sewing whenever and wherever the urge seizes them, just as in other lands. And small boys eat peanuts entire and expectorate, spit out the shells just as you thought they would. Open-air cafes, especially for the coolie or poorer classes, are the rule rather than the exception. Their patrons eat everything except chop suey, which is unknown in China. As pets, the Chinese prefer birds, especially songsters. No Chinese gentleman takes a dog for a walk, though he may be met most anywhere with his favorite bird. Doctors of geomancy, or glorified fortune-tellers, to whom most every Chinese must appeal before burying his dead or undertaking whatever enterprise, are everywhere. In the Chinese social scale, nothing, not even an actor, regarded as the lowliest of the low, is lower than a barber. Usually he inherits his profession from his father and his strop from his grandfather, and begins to practice when quite young. Those of the poorer classes are peripatetic, setting up business wherever they encounter it. Nearby is the father of this boy barber, washing a customer's head. Note the eloquence of that hand, mute testimony to the popular belief that cooties do migrate. Now approaches a one-man show. He sets up his theater and all of his paraphernalia unassisted. Though the Chinese are a hard-working, industrious people, they are sufficiently fond of amusements to be able to abandon their bustle and unceasing toil now and then, and to relax if the performance or the occasion justifies. Only since the founding of the Republic in 1912 have the women been able to enjoy theatricals or amusements other than itinerant minstrels that could be performed in the privacy of their dwellings. Formerly they were debarred from places of public amusement, even the theater except on rare occasion. But now Punch and Judy shows such as this, jugglers performing monkeys as well as gymnasts, are always certain, anywhere in China, of a circle of admiring spectators, men, women, and children, in village, city, or open country. And as each puppet performs, the operator alters his voice to conform to the character. Shoes worn by the common people in Peking are generally of cloth, made by cobblers who stroll through the streets hawking their wares. Almost every Chinese girl today walks on her natural feet, though a few have been sacrificed to the ancient custom of crippling them in the belief that they are beautified thereby. Bound in early babyhood with bandages that cramp the 4 smaller toes under the instep, they are bathed only every lilies. Porcelain was invented in China in the 3rd millennium BC. It is still manufactured in Peking, even though deliveries are slow, while John fires the clay. Let us now pass from the Chinese into the Tartar city, a vast area with broad streets and high walls. Through Tianmen, or front gate, enters a detachment of Chinese soldiery, in finer fettle and better equipped than most of the local armies that periodically occupy the city. We follow them into the Forbidden City, where, ascending the main gateway, we meet a Chinese family from San Francisco being shown the royal palace's apartments and offices, where once lived an emperor, the Son of Heaven, and his magnificent retinue. Embracing half a square mile, this walled enclosure was denied to all foreigners prior to the downfall of the empire, hence its name, Forbidden City. Now it is forbidden to no one, except to cameramen. From the east gate we gaze across a forest of yellow-tiled roofs, indicative of their once imperial ownership. Beyond the gate directly before us is the hall of the famous dragon throne, on which the emperor sat only at his coronation and on his birthday. In the distance, at the left, is the dagoba of the Winter Palace, and at our feet, the gateway through which is the new Imperial Museum of Treasures, second to none in beauty and value anywhere. Watchtowers surmount the walls encompassing the Forbidden City. Perched on their eaves, as on those of every imperial edifice, are 9 tutelary gargoyles, guardians against fiendish spirits and wayward devils. Other buildings, not so fastidious, have less. Within the Winter Palace grounds nearby is a 9-dragon porcelain screen. An emperor once had a brooch of such exquisite design and exceeding value that he thus reproduced it that others might observe its beauty and admire it. Dominating the surrounding park is the towering white dagoba, the Tibetan form of Buddhist pagoda or reliquary. Tianmen, the main entrance to the city, rears its proud head above the legation quarter, where most of the foreigners live. Just below is the parade ground of the American Marines, a detachment of which, sometimes less but seldom more than the 500 seen here, has been detailed to Peking ever since the Boxer Rebellion in 1900, when this sector of the city was bombarded from the walls in the background by foolhardy rebels. Though one might remain indefinitely in Peking, destined, may we hope, to regain its splendors of state and its name, we must leave this peerless city with its ghosts of empire to its reveries, and be off to other ports of call.